Morning. Okay, guys, so question. What we're going to do today is just do 3 examples of doing logical equivalence via algebraic methods. 3 examples, so you can actually see how you reason it out in the exam if possible, right? And what it actually means, you know? And then we're going to move on to real number systems that we're going to kind of rely on the book for. Because it's so simple, I really just want you to get that. It's going to be, for some part, like a revision of numbers in fit form. Not in fit form, way before. Like what means a natural set, what means a whole number set, you know, what are considered whole numbers, what are considered integers, and stuff like that. And then we're going to see how it evolves into this case, fair enough? Alright. So if it is that you can just watch me instead of writing, show that by algebra propositions show that P or Q and P or R is identical to P or Q and R. So to do that, we need to say, all right, if I construct a truth table, it can take me 5 minutes, and you can think I can do, you know, you get full mark, right? Yes? You get naught if the examiner said, show using algebraic method, right? So if you choose to construct the truth table, you just get 0. You forfeit the mark. It's like you're not doing the question, fair enough? So we need to apply all the laws that was studied 15 times, eh? Let's just recall and to see if we actually remember them. The important ones. Right? The important ones will be what? The ones that kind of trick you up. the distributive law, right? This is not distributive law, is it? Is it distributive law? Hmm? Why is it not distributive law?
Because it's a simplified version.
That's not the reason. One at a time.
I don't know if to explain, right? There you go. You have to have the two symbols there with the and and the or.
All right. And your classmate said that they are the same operation. And whenever we have the same operation, it's a associative law. So this is important. When inside the bracket and outside the bracket are both and or both are, then it simply means I can regroup. That's all it allows me to do. Regroup. Fair enough? So to say I can put the P and the Q first and then put them together with the R afterwards. So that is associative law. The distributive law is when they are different. So the P and the and will see the Q. Morning. Then the or in between. And then the P and the and again will see the R inside that bracket. So, and there's a quick check. Anyone remember the check? It's important to know what was inside the bracket is now outside the bracket. What was outside the bracket is now inside both brackets. That's all. Alright. The next one that kind of look like these, but not, is absorption law. Remember, we have to study them, guys, because they're not on the formula sheet. The absorption law again has an outside or inside or vice versa. The problem is it don't have three unique elements, PQR, it only have two. So inside the bracket and outside the bracket, you'll see a similar element, the same element. And whenever that is the case, it's as if what is repeated is the only thing that is there. That's an easy way to think about it, right? And then the identity laws are what we kind of have put on them, right? All right, so that's what we are going to try to use along with other methods, right? The Morgans and all that stuff. But the man himself show that this is a proof. And I think I mentioned how it is that we're supposed to approach proving any equation. So, did I? Who can recall? Everybody remember what to prove? An identity. How do I prove that an equation is true? What does it take? It's a stepwise thing. Like everything else in math, 10 steps. So, I want to give it a shot. What is it that I cannot do? What violates this proof? The one thing that violates this proof, and no matter how many correct lines you write, as soon as you do it, then just write wrong. If you bring anything from one side to the next. That's the whole thing that violates the proof completely. Right? I cannot take anything from one side to the next to prove it. It's not obvious to see how I'm going to take one thing from one side to the next. But later on in proof, you're going to realize that it's possible to take things from one side to the next. Or it would appear that we can take things from one side. But that's a no-no. The second thing is that all we need to do is to choose the most complicated looking side. Start from that complicated looking side using legitimate mathematical steps. I will simplify, and eventually, God's willing, it will look like the other side. So we take either the left hand side abbreviated LHS or the right hand side abbreviated RHS and simplify each of them in terms, right? Without taking anything from left hand side to right hand side and vice versa. under duress, sometimes you will be simplifying one side and you're really and truly stuck, right? When you're stuck, you're not really stuck. That's the first thing you need to remember. Because we're going to learn some identities. When you're stuck, it usually means one of two things. Look for an identity that will get you past it. That means something that has swat 15 times. Or are truly, really and truly stuck. At that time, you're stuck and you can't find any identity to get your pass. You write SUCOM and you start with the other side. And then you simplify using, again, legitimate mathematical steps, identities, and pray to God that they become equal in there. Fair enough? So let's see how this one works. Remember, all the laws will come in here, and I don't know in what order they will come in. And I'm pretty sure it's like 14 of them, no? When I separate all of them. That's all? You have to study them. Yeah?
Sure. Question. You say the left-hand side and right. One side is S1 and one side is S1.
All right, so why it is that I say that we choose left-hand side or right-hand side? What I did say first is that what will inform us which one I choose is which one is most complicated. Looking at this side, which one is most complicated? The left-hand side. And we will always choose the most complicated side for this reason and this reason alone. Complicated things can be simplified. But how can you expand a simplified version? You see, there are many ways to expand 5. I usually use a very trivial example. How do I expand 5? There are enough ways to expand 5. It can be 10 minus 5. It can be 10 divided by 2. It's a whole lot of stuff. It can be 20 divided by 4. If you're thinking outside the box. Enough ways to expand. But usually, it's one way to simplify. Like if I write 10 minus 5, it's one answer produce 5. That makes sense? So that's the reason why we always choose we always choose the complicated looking side and start from there. Because chances are we won't be stuck before we get the answer. You know? You buy that? That's what I said. All right. So let's start this proof. So I have looked at this and realized that I want to show that this side is equal to that side. And then I chose the most complicated looking side. It's not rocket science to see what is most complicated. This one looks more complicated, so I choose it. Where do I go? Any suggestions? Huh?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Sir, this is the block.
All right, here's the challenge. You see, as soon as I look at this, if it is that I was asked to simplify it, I could write this down. Hold on, say that again. In the distributive law, look what happened. Whatever is outside the bracket starts inside the bracket for both brackets. That's all. So it's easy to say that this is the reversal of distributive law. Here's the challenge. I cannot use it. Why I can't use the distributive law to prove anything in this? Much simpler than that, you know, the answer. Why is it that I could not just write this down? Because technically that's what I'm saying. And then I would have gone to verify that when I expand this side, P or would be starting inside the bracket. P or will see Q like this. P R or that is not R. P or will see the R. And then the and will be no outside of the bracket. I would have written that down and I'd go about myself and I'll write distributive law. But you get not. Why you get not? Because this is what the man is asking you to prove. You can't use what you're asked to prove the same. That doesn't make sense, guys.
I think possible.
What if I choose the right hand side instead of the left hand side? And
If
this
they would do the same thing, you would have to prove it.
But that's what I asked to prove.
That's what
Because this is the distributive law, isn't it? The reversal of distributive law. So, no, you cannot. Not when they ask you to prove it. You see, if that asks to simplify this, then you could maybe try to use, you could say that you have applied the distributive law. Or by observation, I would say, by observation, this is clear it is. But that's if you want to just write down the result. But because it's a proof, I have to build a case for this. Ready?
Bring some evidence.
Why is it that work? That's all. But that's a typical thing. If I am proving commutative law, can I use commutative law to prove commutative law? I don't know it's right yet because I don't finish proving it. So I can't apply that until I show it. I'm sure that this is correct by other methods. That's just a typical.
So, sir, what you want to show is
You realize if I flip this around, it is the commutative law, so I can't use commutative law. And let me say, should have started from this side. But starting from this side, all she would have done is to write up the other side. So you get knocked. That's the story, right? But typically, though, you cannot use what you're proving in the proof of what you're proving. That's just that goes without saying when you think about it now, right? So let's see what we're allowed to do, right?
so, sir, is it a contradiction or something?
No. Well, remember the contradiction of itself, right? This is the contradiction, remember? P and not P. Remember?
Not as the law.
All right, let's see what we have. So clearly, this won't fly. So what do I do? What other law I can use? You see, to simplify this, I may need to expand it first. That's the problem. Because there's no way to proceed. So what do you think? Which law?
If they want to explain something, it's a distributive.
Well, I can't use a distributive because remember that's what I'm proving. Technical. Right? And how do I know that I technically have a violation? If I write on one side, and then right after that, I just write on the other side that they ask me to show that it's equal to, without going through any other steps, that's usually a violation. So, because I don't do anything else, I just write it back for them. I'm going to say it to you. Yeah?
So you could have used commutative law and change over everything.
Commutative law.
Yes, sir.
Here's what commutative law would do. Yes? Hold on. Why? Because commutative, we say, all right, I'm taking this as one thing in the bracket. I'm taking this as one thing, the bracket. And you see, A and B is same as B and A. That's commutative. No, flip around. That's correct? All right. Something like that. But it's unbelievable.
Yes.
All right. Who agree with that? That's a commutative law applied. So that didn't simplify anything. It didn't get me anywhere because I still stuck. So what else?
Let's try associative law, sir.
Associative law. Here's the challenge with associative law. Associative law requires three things. And the same operation. This is one thing. This is another. So I need a third separated by a hand, right? But I could try associative law again. I could cover this up, treat this as one thing, and then treat these as independent things. You know? But guess the problem? It will still not be commutative. Why? I mean, associate. Well, it will still not be associative because associative law requires if there's an or out inside, yes, Q. There will be an or outside. You know? It's like I'm falling flat on my face. But let me suggest something. I'm going to still keep.
Sorry, the distributive law could work.
Huh?
Distributive law could work.
No.
No.
I am using distributive law. Sorry. Here's the challenge. Let's rewrite the question. Because technically I am using the distributive law, but I am not just going to write this down, right? What the man really wanted you to do is to say this thing that I'm simplifying. If I kept this as one thing, right? Then I'm seeing these two, right? So this is like A and P or R. So this A and the and will see the P. This A and the and will see the R. Fair enough? Notice that it's a little bit different than what you were suggesting because I'm not just writing back what was the simplified version, right? So in that, what I'm doing is to say this square bracket, if you want, and the and will see the P. The or come in between, and that square bracket and the and will again see the R. Who agree with that expansion so far? Huh?
Is that the same thing what happens when you multiply across brackets?
Yeah, that is the distributive law. No? But what I did though, I treated one of the brackets as a single unit. Right? That means I can't see inside the box in the box. But I treated these as individual units. In that then we are right, it would have been the distributive law applied, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what was the box? The box was P or Q. P or Q. But see that? Go with it again. I treated this box as A and P or R. So this should have been A and P, and then it's A and R. So, and then this or A and or, and then the or comes back in the middle, right? So that's all I did, right? Everybody see that? But I can't use the A and just leave the A there, right? Because money never asked about A. This is just for me to understand it clearly. Then, what do I do here? Let's write it back with brackets. P or Q. This is the distributive law. Apply to get here. So this is I think I might have written the question a little bit incorrectly. Let's check something. Oh no, I didn't write it in correct. Everybody see this? Because it's the only legitimate way of proceeding, no? If I work out to just write number, this simplified answer with this. Anybody see anything that I can use?
The absorption law.
Huh?
Absorption law.
Everybody see that inside that bracket I can
So that would be P.
simplify that bracket?
So that, yeah.
Because I see P outside, P inside. There's an or inside and an and outside. So it's as if I just see the P. Or in bracket P or Q and R.
And then you use associative law, so P.
What law did I use here? Absorption.
I think is
What am I going to do here?
associative, sir. The bracket, then the two P's.
Is associative law to make it side.
And then the R going to be, and
Here's the problem. Can I just drop this bracket inside this bracket here? Legitimate. Because if you want to say that, you're basically saying there's a way to bracket this with this, right?
no, not this, not the P.
You want to bracket P and P?
Yes, sir.
But there's a bracket here.
Oh, so.
You see? So this is one thing.
I'm using associative law to bring P outside.
How? What do you mean associative law? It's associative law I'm not using it. But how?
That's a commutative law with the R.
Guys, the board is ugly, messy. Can I erase that right back so that I have space? All right. So let's start afresh. We are again proving that P or Q and P or R is identical. P or Q and R, right? I'm going to fall in the same trap, guys. I didn't separate the board. That's the problem, right? So the proof will look like this. What I'm saying, guys, I can't just write down this side, left-hand side, and say it's equal to this right-hand side. That's what the man is asking us to prove. So I need to go through some other method to get to it. Fair enough? That's the bottom line, right? But it's not that we're not using the distributive law, because we realize that there would have many other options, right? I hope that is better said and understood, right? So I choose the most complicated of the two sides. What's the most complicated side? This side. What can I do here? Remember what I said? Technically keeping one of the brackets as I could have kept this together and keep this apart, right? But I choose to keep this one as A, little a, right? In that case, this bracket will see the P. With the and, no? So all of this will see the P, and then all of that will see the R. That's all. Remember, anytime one operation has two things you just put a bracket automatically, right? And then this same thing, P or Q, with the and, we'll see the R. We'll pick up the R inside that. And what is in between here, guys, is that we never use. Fair enough? What did I use here? Because I tell you that the examiner wants you to tell them what you use. But this would have been the distributive law. When you're writing it, what I didn't write it beside this to confuse ourselves. I write it in between this to say, to move from here to here, I apply the distributive law. Fair enough? Then, we say, how can I simplify it? You see, it would look very messy for me to take this whole bracket now with this OR and try to go inside here, so, right? So I don't do that. I look inside the bracket first because the man said, I simplify brackets first. So I look inside the bracket and see, and said to myself, can any of these brackets be simplified? And I look for them. And first thing that popped up was that P was inside one of the brackets and P was outside. So it's possibly the absorption law, right? Then I need to verify that the signs inside and outside were different. And they were. So it's as if just what was repeated was there. Yeah? So what did I use here? The absorption law. Where else can I go?
The derivatives are inside there, sir.
If I circle these stuff, right? If I said, all right, let's keep this together. Then what I would have is this. P or A or
Oh, sir.
oh, sorry.
Sir, how about commutative with the Q and the R interchange?
It will be.
So it's associated.
It would be associated. I don't say associated anymore. Let's see if I expand. This was how I expanded it first. Check. Yes? This with the and, C is my P, this with the and, C is my R, and then the OR comes in between. So we're correct, right? And then this was the absorption. To get here, what law can I apply? Here's, if I keep this together, it can't be associated.
That'd be distributed.
Why? Because these are not the same. So what can I do?
Distributed volume, that's the only thing.
You look at the distributive volume, right? So in that case,
so it would be R and K and
why do I think I would get something wrong here, guys? It's only supposed to go like that.
So, sir, I think
Ensure that I get the correct answer. P and Q and P or R.
So I think it's supposed to multiply singularly instead of bringing the entire bracket across.
Go again?
It's supposed to have to multiply it singularly.
Singularly meaning
P with P and P with
I wish I never studied that law, you know. I see the book as the book applied, but the book I disagree with the book. You know? You guys can take 1 minute to try it, but I did the solution, so let me just see what I did. All right. Eh? What thing? Guys, I will send you that solution because I did it a different way. All right? What is in the book I don't agree with? Yes?
Distribute what's in there, P or Q and R.
Yes.
Distribute that.
P or, so this will be P, we'll see the and with the or, yes, and the or, then this is going to be P, Q, sorry, and R. That is how it was done. That's the step I'm missing. And then this is, what did I use here? This is the distributive law. It was backward distributive law. Remember this one? Is it correct to say this? Yeah? In other words, we say this is right distributive as opposed to left distributive. But it's the same, right? And we're going to make a distinction of that one. Right. So what we did here was the distributive law, treating this as one thing. Then we went to the absorption law to get that P simplified. And then we looked inside this bracket because we're really and truly stuck, and that was the problem. I wasn't seeing why we're stuck. Having reached here, I said to myself, how can we simplify or get this to speak with this? And we weren't seeing it. If we went to the distributive law by saying P will sit this, then you have that end up with something that you can't simplify, can't proceed with. So if I look inside this bracket and said do brackets first, then the only logical thing is to expand this. So expanding it using distributive law again. What's the difference here now? Can you see the associative law? Why? Because this is a or and that's a or. If I treated this as one thing and I treated that as one thing, you seen it? Then what would I have? This would be P or P and R or Q and R. Since this is or, I can just drop the bracket. Can you see that? Then I'll just regroup at that one because I can bracket any. If I have A and B and C, then I can choose any way to bracket. That's what I'm saying. That's all. This is what? So to get from here to here, this was associative. And then finally, this is just P, the or, Q, and the R. And that was the absorption. And that was where we would have completed. You know? And that's our corrected version to what the book has. Because I don't know about this law about expanding with this seeing that and that seeing that. I don't know about that one. I should say, guys, that most times when you're asked to use a distributive law, they will always telling you that you're proving this. And because it wouldn't be a proof, I can recall that this is the reversal of the distributive law that would have studied it and write this down. Fair enough? So you can use the identities both ways. So in the exam, I would have taken this and just write this down. But the only reason that I couldn't do that is because this was what they asked me to show that this is equal to. So I couldn't just write it back, right? It wouldn't be approved, right? Hopefully that one will alleviate the fear that I put inside here just now, eh? I'll proceed with this one. Remember, it's approved, so I have to choose a side, that's all? What side will I choose? Other side. What can I use? Absorption? Why not? Because P and that not P are two different creatures. Yeah? So they're not the same thing. So we have to use something else. What else? The only thing that we use so often, distribution law, right? Or distributive law. So the P with the and, we'll see the Q, bracket that. And the P with the and, we'll see the not P. But what this one now, what was inside the bracket becomes outside the bracket. That's all? I will check it again that what was outside the bracket becomes inside the bracket. Right? Having done that, are you seeing anything?
No, sir.
What are you seeing?
P and not P is
What
false.
is that? P and not P is false. I should have said that this was distributive. And then this is the contradiction. Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
I should start glancing, I should see that what I'm working towards is right here, so I shouldn't destroy it at all. That's all. It's so much so that if you have no idea, you're right back. Answer. Because it's obvious that this is just one more step to simplify to here. But why is it that this is true? It's an identity law, but if you never know, suppose it wasn't approved when you were simplifying it, how would I know that this leads me to that? Where? So in the bracket, right? Quick thing for me to do is to just say A, or let's use P. P or F. Let's treat the whole thing here as P, right? A preposition, it can be both true and false. That's all. But false can only be false. Put the or in between. T or F. Because the or says either can be true. F or F. So you see that this looks like this. Therefore, if a preposition and the false is combined with an or, I will always get back whatever the preposition is. So a bracket or F will give me just the bracket, and this is the identity law if I didn't know it. But the examiner don't care about that. You don't need to show the examiner that. This is just for you if it is that you're not sure. That making sense?
Yes.
All right. You remember I told you you're supposed to get your syllabus? Because there's a specimen paper in here. That's exactly what I'm going towards to give you a class assignment. Use algebra of proposition to show that P and P implies Q is equal to P and Q. And the man said they're giving you 3 marks for that. Let's attempt that. Finish?
Yes, sir.
That means whether I just show you an example number 1 or not, if you can use a key example on the specimen paper, that means you're in good standing. So, what's the most complicated look inside? Huh? Left hand side. P and P implies Q, no? What can I do with that?
Conditional statement. Convert that to a conditional statement.
So the first thing you need to look at is the fact that on the right hand side there is no implication. That means they're telling us that somehow we need to get rid of the implication. But sometimes we have to look on the other side to get an understanding of what we're trying to work for. P and bracket first. That's what one of them always telling us. So what can I use to change this implication to an and or? The implication law. So what that said? Anybody remember? There's two ways to think about it. Not the first thing or the second thing. So not the first thing or the second thing. That's saying that now. Because chances are, if they ask me to prove anything using algebra proposition, because they put it on the specimen paper, it will involve implication along with everything else. Fair enough? So what can I do now? Distributive law. Everybody seen that? So by the distributive law, I can say the P, and that and will see the not P. Bracket that. And the P, that same P with the and, will see the Q. And then this or that we never use before. Fair enough? Check it quickly. What's outside is now inside. What's inside is now outside the bracket. What is this? False. Contradiction again. Yeah, because I can't have something in my hand and not have something in my hand. Or P and Q. And then again in the exam, because anything that involves T or F with any other proposition are collectively called the identity laws. So if you say that, we can cheat. We don't need to stress ourselves, you know, guys. Look at that. This is what I want, and this is looking at me. So the only thing that could be there is that thing. Full stop. Then you say equal to right hand side. But if it was a simplification and we weren't exactly sure, the answer wasn't on the book, on the paper, then I need to be sufficiently convinced before I write it down. So, but again, these identity laws are supposed to be easily derived in the exam if I don't know. I will again say F or A. So, where A is a proposition, and because A is a proposition that can only be true or false, but not both, then I'll put T and F right below. Fair enough? The or, because that will change, and F will always be F. And then I ask, with the or, what's the law for the or? Both needs to be true. Well, at least one needs to be true, right? So, at least one true? At least one true? No. No. Again, you realize that what this produced was the same thing as A. So F or a bracket will produce the bracket. And that's what I got. Fair enough? Some schools are taught, yes. I believe so. I think it's a capability in play. But to apply any technical language you are using it, so that's right. All right, we're moving on to, because I think I'm somewhat confused with example number 1, I will make myself available after class, so anybody who needs an explanation on it can get it. Fair enough? Real number system. That's what we're going towards. May I erase this? Sure. Alright. So for the real number system, we need to remember sets. Sets of numbers. And the different categories of numbers that we have. Right? The first one that we have is the real number. What's the real number? It's anything on the face of the earth that is known as numbers. Anything that can fit on a number line. And it's not just 1, 2, 3, 4, and -1 that's on the number line. Things in between it can also be placed on the number line. So anything on the face of the earth that is considered a number. Any number you call is a real number. 0.5, real number. 7, real number. Right? I'm going in order of importance. Natural number. Anybody remember what the other name for natural numbers?
Counting numbers?
Yeah. Huh?
Counting numbers.
Counting numbers. Give me an example of that set. Start at 1, 2, 3. And why did they call it natural numbers or counting numbers? Because if you set your units and values count, they will naturally start counting at 1, 2, 3. So it's natural and counting. And to write this, I just write an N and put a stroke, right? Write a R and put a R. You see? It's easy. Whole numbers, write a W, a stroke. Whole number. The difference between the whole numbers and natural numbers are just the 0. That's considered a whole, right? I don't need to insult the intelligence of and believe at this point, right? The integers. This one is not very self-explanatory because I don't see how integers start with 0, right? So, integer. What about integers? It can be negative or large number, a negative large whole number. Going that way. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And it can continue in the same pattern. That's what ellipses mean, right? Continue in the same pattern. And what you realize coming from left to right, all I'm doing is increasing by 1 each time. So no complex number is never here. That's unit 2. Okay. So Z minus superscript minus. It means the set of negative integers. What's that set? Remember, set are when I'm listing a set, I put it in curly braces. So I just look at the set of integers and I say, all right, I'm going to pick up all the negative numbers. What don't count as negative? 0 is not negative, that's neutral. Neither positive nor negative. 1, 2, 3, anything to the right of 0, I'm 0. So all the thing to the left, -3, -2, -1. That's correct? So what do you think the set of positive integers look like? Z with a superscript or plus. So this is 1, 2, 3. That is equal to something. No. 0 is not in this set nor this set. because 0 is not positive nor negative. So remember that, you know. So we're going to use it, right? That's why I put real and natural numbers first, because we're going to use them heavily, right? What set is that equal to that well right on the board? The natural set. This is a very important relationship. So z plus and natural set are the same, right? They both start at 1 and increment by 1, right? All I did again, guys, is to write a Q and put a stroke. Quotient. But the proper name for them is rational set or rational numbers. On this? You have to remember that I work with boy. All right. So that's a set of rational numbers, quotient. How do I define quotient? I think I did before in class. What makes a rational number a rational number?
Oh, when you can be divided by.
Huh?
I can't remember exactly who you did explain it.
When it can be written as a fraction, yeah. Right? But what makes a fraction a fraction?
When you can divide it by something and it become a whole number.
So, a rational number is any number that can be expressed or written in the form, you have to be explicit, A upon B, where A and B are integer numbers. Let's give you some examples. 250. That is clearly an integer. Why? I mean a rational number because this is an integer, the numerator, and this is an integer, the denominator, right? What's not so clear is whether or not 3 is a rational number.
So we can be a whole number, like say you can use decimals.
Be careful. I'm getting to that one.
That's what you were explaining it to me last time. You can use decimals as a rational number.
You have to be careful. All right. So this is 250. Well, is 3 a rational number? The question, to answer that question, you would always just say, can I write it as a fraction? Can I write 3 as a fraction?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the top one? 1. No. You're going to see. So this is a integer. This is a integer. Yeah? But if I can put everything upon one and it become an integer, that's fine, right? Well, let's verify if everything, single thing, can be written as a rational. 3.1 is a rational.
Yes, sir.
Have them already, but that is second right. Yeah. Give me the transfer. I can. Yeah. But guys, just write the email address and again. I don't want him to focus on that right now. So I will fill it out. You can just I'll pick it up later.
All right.
All right.
Fine.
3.1. First thing you would say is that 3.1 upon 1. But that's not a fraction. Well, it don't look like a fraction, it's not in the form yet. Because is 3.1 an integer? No. So I need to correct that, right? How can I correct that? Multiply top by 10, bottom by 10, no? 31 upon 10? No, that's an integer. And that's an integer. That's correct? Yeah. Good. Or the best way to check if something is a rational number is to check out the calculator. Press 3.1. When you press 3.1 and press the fraction button, it changes it, huh? Didn't it? Did you press equal? 3.1 equal. Equal. You have to enter it first, and then you press the fraction button. Did you change it? Everybody? You have to press equal first. The character don't recognize until you press equal. When you press equal, press equal. You see 3.1 down in the answer section. Now it can convert it. So, but your character will convert it to a mixed fraction. But a mixed fraction is a fraction, right? And then you can convert fraction to improper fraction. You can, right? Yeah. You remember how to do that, right? All right. That's what we got to. No? Right. Your question? Okay. You had a number when you do that to the calculator, because you don't have the fancy calculator, you can get that. That's all? What? 3 times 10. 3 times the denominator plus 1 is equal to 31 upon the original denominator. That's all? All right. What about before I get there, let's just define what an irrational number is before I start giving you examples of irrational numbers. Irrational numbers is represented by Q bar irrational numbers. Not rational. So if a rational can always be written in the form of A upon B, what's an irrational number? A number that cannot be expressed. You will not simply say as a fraction in the exam because the examiner needs a little bit more detail here. A number that cannot be expressed as A or in the form A upon B.
Like so.
where A, B is integer. Fair enough? And we can always interpret this now, right? A, B is an element of the set integers. Example? Pi. Hold on. Some of you are going to say pi is 22 upon 7, but that's an approximation. It's not pi. So when you press pi in the calculator, you get 2.7 something, no? 3.142 or 2.1 E. And press the fraction button. What I do? It just blink and look at you. Why? Because it could not have been written as a fraction. So anything that keeps it as a decimal in the calculator is a irrational number. Because the calculator can convert anything that can be converted to a fraction into a fraction. Fair enough? The next one is E. Well, this is only approximately 3.142, right?
What is it again? 2.17.
Approximately 2.718, right? And it continues. Yeah? Later on, you will learn what E is, right? Just a natural base. But although I write as a decimal, this is not the end of the decimal places, so it continues. And then we have a special rational number that we're going to pay attention to in a topic by itself. Anything with roots. Root 2. When you press root 2, enter it. Important to try to convert to a fraction. The only thing, when you have a fancy calculator, all it does is change it back to root 2. It never puts it as a fraction. That's all. And root 2 is not a integer. So you can't put root 2 upon 1. Right? That makes sense? Is root 9 an irrational number?
No. This is irrational?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Because 3 is the square root.
So the square root of 9 is 3, and that can be 3 upon 1. This is rational. So that was another example. This is called a third. So a third is an irrational number that involves root. And this here is just a potential third. Anything with a root is a potential third. But we show that it was only potential because it was not a real third. It was a rational number. Let's say that again. A third is an irrational number that has root. So that root 3 is a third. So when you plug that in the calculator, you get a decimal that cannot be converted to a fraction. But this is a potential third because it has a root, but it really and truly only represents a number, right? So root 2 is not a number, you know, guys. Root 2 just represents a number. What does it represent? Root 2 represents a number that can multiply by itself 2 times to give me 2. It's like root of 4. It only represents 2, you know, guys. You know that, right? It's looking for a number that can multiply by itself 2 times to give me 4. Right? But that's all you need to know about the real number system. Right?
Rational number represents the symbol.
No, just the bar, the Q bar. Which color are you looking for? You wouldn't want to learn English from me at all. Ready? There are some things that would appear to be irrational, but they're actually rational. And these are recurring decimals. And I'm only doing this not because I expect Mr. Cape is going to ask you necessarily about them, but they could expect you to do it for a long time, right?
Also called repeating decimal.
Or repeating decimals. How do I convert them to fractions? You see 1.718 is not a repeating decimal. It is easily converted to 1.718 divided by 1, and because it has 3 decimal places, I multiply by 1,000. Okay. Multiply 10 with 3 zeros. And I've got 1718 divided by 1,000. Is that the simplest fraction? No. If you wanted the simplest fraction, you would pick up your calculator, plug in 1.718, and press the fraction button. That will give you the simplified fraction. Do that quickly. What did you get? What did you get?
I have to change my code.
Yeah, well, what did you get?
I got 1, then 359 over 500.
Let me show you. We know how to read that, right? It means 1, 359 over 500. Right? Importantly, if I wanted to, you could simply say 1 times 500. Huh?
Yeah, because it's different calculators.
You'd say 1 times 500 plus this is 859 upon 500, right?
Yes,
Or you could say my new denominator is 500 and I ask myself 500 into 1,000 is 2 times so. So I would say basically 2 into 1,000 goes 500. That means I need 2 into that and you'll get 859. Right? So any which way you want to go, that is the answer, right? But I am talking about situations where I get 1.777 and just keep repeating, right? How we represent that is we use a bar, or we can use a dot, like 1.7 dot, right? Any which way you want it, mean repeating 7. So 1.7 means 7 repeats just like that, right? With the bar over 7. How I convert that? I said let x equal to the repeating decimal.
Times it by 10.
Why did I multiply by 10?
Because it didn't add a 10. It's this one, 10.
It is not only that, because I'm going to show you something that doesn't quite follow through with that one. How many decimals repeat? 1. 1. So it's the same 1 7 repeating itself, right?
Yes.
So because only 1 decimal repeat, then I need to multiply a multiple of 10 with 1 0.
Yes.
So this is now 10x, and I put it up top. 10 times x is equal to, be careful, 17.7 bar. Why did this is not easily seen here, but remember 1 point could be written on that, right? And then multiply by 10, 17.7 like that. Fair enough?
Yes,
Having done that, what I will do, by the way, you don't need to use the bar, you just use numbers. Then when I subtract, I'll get 9x equal to, all of that decimal gone, 16. So you see how I get x equal to 16 upon 9. Plug 16 upon 9 in the calculator and tell me what you get. 1.77777777. Fair enough? Some of your characters will put 8 at the end, but that's because it's rounded off. Right? Because it don't represent repeated numbers. Right? Actually it does, but you wouldn't know. You see that thing right there, so? And you calculator, did you see a little arrow? It means it was repeating.
It means what?
It was, yeah, repeating numbers, repeating decimals. So you'll have seen a little arrow on the top of your calculator. That's just because I read the manual. Fair enough? Alright. So you can see that repeating decimals are also rational numbers. Although it looks like them have infinitely many decimal places. And therefore you would say to yourself, well, it doesn't look like it can be written as a fraction. Fair enough? That was the point. If I have 0.545454 continuing. In other words, what are the numbers that are repeating? So this can be written as 0.54 with a bar over the 5 and the 4. That's all? And because that is the case, what I would need to do is to say, let x be equal to 0.545454. Right? Then I will say to myself, what am I going to multiply both sides by? Well, I need to multiply by a multiple of 10 that has how many zeros? 2, because 2 digits repeated. So multiply by 100. So I get 100x equal to 54.545454. That's all. Subtracting, I get 99x equal to 54. So x is equal to 54 upon 99. And you can verify it, right? It's not rocket science, and that's all you need to know about that. Fair enough? You need to know what irrational numbers look like, for sure, right? Which is basically roots and pi and e, right? All right, so you can take out your textbook. Remember, well, before some of you came, I said that for chapter 2, we'll be using our textbook and we'll be writing down what is important from what you need to know. Fair enough? So the long and short of it is that repeating decimals are also rational numbers because they can be eventually converted to a fraction. This is the next topic that sometimes give you a little bit of challenge because it's so simple, right? Binary operations. So remember, a binary operation, as I said, is what we have grown up on. Just how we're not too comfortable with the concept of binary operations. But addition, subtraction, multiplication, division were all binary operations. And we went through that little thing already. As when I asked how do you add 2 plus 3 plus 4? Technically, you added 2 plus 3 first. In other words, that plus can only take 2 things. And then that plus taking the bracket as 1 and the 4 as another. All of those operations in mathematics takes only 2 things. That's all. Hence binary. Bi meaning 2, right? So binary operation. before we're going to read the book, what a binary operation do? Or we a binary operation, if I have two sets, or if I have a set, a binary operation and a set, is supposed to take two elements from the set and produce a third in the same set. That looks like an emoji, eh? So, a binary operation on a set asterisk a binary operation asterisk on a set S is S by S mapping on to S. Let's explain that. That's all you need to know when man talk about binary operations, by the way. Let's explain this. Explanation. In the exam, I don't need to explain it to the man. All I need to do is write this down. A binary operation asterisk on a set S is a function such that S times S give you S. What it is actually saying is that if I take two elements of set S, I must produce an element of set S. That's what I mean by binary operation. Interestingly, what I just described here is going to be a property of binary operations. So these are defined binary operations. Now let's read what is in it, right? Let's start from operations itself. Operations. I want you to do what it is. A unary operation is an operation that can be performed on one element of a set or one number. Mr. Cape don't care about unary operations, by the way. They don't call it anything, right? So what operation can operate on one single element? Well, things like root 4. You see, it operates on a single number. And it's simple to say what number multiplied by itself 2 times to give 4. You give the plus or minus 2, right? Did they give any other example for the binary, for the unary? The square. So this is like the square function or the cube function operating on a single element. Right? So that's what unary means. It just means instead of taking 2 elements and producing one, you take 1 element and produce an element. Fair enough? Unary meaning unit. No? Finding the square root, square or reciprocal. Like if I ask what the reciprocal of 5 is, you'd say 1 upon 5. So, are all examples of unary operations. Some operations, such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, meaning all the operations that we know, right, must be applied to 2 numbers. Isn't that so? And let's take out the trivial case of 4 divided by 4. Yeah? But even when you have 4 divided by 4, it's really two numbers you see. That's all? You see them repeated. Yeah? Always repeated numbers. But it needs two numbers to operate. These operations are examples of binary operations because in both cases, or in all those cases, it requires two numbers to produce one element, right? And it's what? And it's the input that determines whether it's unary or binary. Because although this unary operation produces two results, plus or minus 2, or the square root of 4 is plus 2, or minus 2, you realize it produces two answers, right? But that don't make it binary. It's how many elements did the operation take in. That's what determines whether or not it is binary or unary. A formal definition of binary operation is what we just do. So a binary operation again, usually represented by asterisk, and a set S is a function such that S times S produces S. That times just means I combine these two and it produces 1. And it's a function because we kind of use the mapping notation. Anybody remember the mapping notation? So if I had set A going on to B, we can say F is such that it takes set A and maps it onto B. So it takes two elements and maps it onto a single element. That's what binary operation does. Fair enough? That's why it was a function. So we're in binary operations. Ready? What am I going to study 15 times by the way? Right this. You reproduce it exactly. If they say define a binary operation asterisk and set n, you would write n times n produce n. Right? So that works? It takes two natural numbers and produces one natural number. But I use S to denote all possible sets. Let us look at this definition using the operations of addition and the set of real numbers. If we take any two real numbers and add them together, we get a real number. Is that the case? Think about it. If I take any two real numbers and add them, so I will get a real number. For example, note that this is not a proof. Remember, I cannot use an example to prove something is true. And this is the topic I was referring to when I was saying it first, right? So I can show that 2 plus 4, 2 and 4 were themselves real numbers. And what did it do under the operation addition? It produced another real number, 6. That's all? So in that case, I would say real number with a real number produce a real number under addition, right? Closure. That's the next topic. So after you write this, all you need to write is closure. And you're going to see why it is that a binary operation is only a binary operation if it is closed. Right? Because I'm going to write about the same thing in another way. And that's what the man want you to write down, by the way. Right? We say a set S is closed under the operation asterisk if and only if A and B, A is in set S and B is in set S. Implies that A combined with the B with the asterisk is also in set S. Hold on. Let's go again. I'm going to show you that this is exactly what I did over here now. All I'm saying is that if I take two elements, A and B, when I put them together with asterisk, I must get an element in S. Isn't that the same thing as I talked about right here? Let's read it together. The binary operation asterisk is closed with respect to a non-empty set A. Why did they say non-empty set? I not maybe have a well, I not may have a sleepless night over that one. Oh. Because if it is that it's empty, then I can't find two elements in it. That's the only reason. It only makes sense, right? So if I have a set A, if A and B are elements of the set A, right? Then when I combine them with asterisk, I get another set in A. Then I can say the set A was closed under the operation. You know? I'm going to. It just means any random operation. So it can mean plus, it can mean minus, subtraction, division, and it can also mean stuff that we dream up and give you in the exam. You know? All right. But this thing, as I said, they can match. You can do this stuff. Now, everything that I do, by the way, everything that I do now in binary operations, I'm going to say we need to know everything about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. What that means is that I need to be able to apply this, all of these theorems, to my real number set, my natural set, my rational numbers, and stuff like that, to see whether or not they were indeed closed or not closed, you know? You remember how implication works? Implication can be written as two ways. This implies this, or you can see, just like what the book said. If this scenario is true, that means A is in S and B is in S, then A and B is also in S. That's what it's saying, right? Good. So let's figure out whether or not can we say under the real set. Can we say real is closed under what we will call it ordinary addition? Why? Because sometimes we talk about some addition that is not ordinary at all, right? So, question, is the real set closed under ordinary addition? Yes or no? Huh? Yes. Because I cannot think about an example where when I have two real numbers, I don't get another real number. But I cannot pinpoint any one of those examples and write them down, you know. It's not a proof. So, to answer that, I would say yes. Since A in reals, or I can combine them, A and B in the set reals implies that A plus B is also in real. That makes sense? In other words, I know from third form and sixth grade that if I add two real numbers, I can get a real number. But that is the proof, you know. That's what I'm doing right now. It's like stating a fact that I swapped 15 times, right? Because I cannot say 2 plus 4 equal to, or I can't say 2.1 plus 5.3. Why did I choose such a bad number? Equals 7.3, 7.4, right? I can't say that because that would be an example, and I cannot prove anything using an example. Question: Is the natural set closed under addition? I want you to pay attention, you know, right? And don't just say yes because it looks like yes, right? Because there might be a trick on the board. Is the natural set closed under addition? Why not? Because I said you're looking up for a trick?
No.
All right. Give me an example where it's not true.
If you add a negative.
It would not be in the set of natural. See it? Negative not in natural at all. So natural we have 1, 2, 3, all positive numbers, so I can't be subtracting at all. And addition, right? So you see how that works? So if A is a natural number and B is a natural number, but that's the way I want you to be thinking, right? Then A plus B is also going to be natural. Why? Because when I'm adding things, you usually line up long addition if you have something like long addition, right? Like long division. Long addition is you line up decimal point and the decimal point. So, but in natural numbers, I never have any decimal points in the first place. That means I can't be producing a decimal point in there. Fair enough? All right. Question. Is the natural set closed under subtraction? Ordinary subtraction, at least. The one that would want now. Give me an example. So you'd say no. And how do we prove that? By use of what we call counterexample. In other words, show one case where the thing is a lie. I will say, we know. Can I write up top? So these are all trivial stuff that I'm making complicated, you realize, right? But Mr. Cape may ask you to be able to do this as well. If it is true, all I need to do is write the relationship like that. For closure, right? Because if it is true, I cannot produce an example as the proof, right? If it is not true, then I have to give the examiner a case where this is not true. I will call those counterexamples, right? And the proof here, in other words, proof by counterexample, we know that 2 is in natural set and 5 is in natural set, but 2 minus 5 is equal to minus 3 that is not in the natural set. It's not so. So we have basically shown that it is not necessarily true that when I pick any two random in natural numbers, that when I subtract them, I will get a natural number by just showing an example where it is not true. Fair enough? Question. Is the natural set closed under ordinary division?
No, sir.
Huh?
No.
No. Again, we can say the proof here is let A equals 2 and B equals 2, mean 5. Then A divided by B would be equal to 2 divided by 5, which is not an element of natural set. But you need to tell them that this is an element of natural set, and 2 was a natural number. But when I combine them using division, I did not get a natural set. That makes sense? All right. One last time for closure. Is the set of rational closed under ordinary division?
No, sir.
If you say no, you better give me an example, you know. Everybody see what I'm doing? Okay. Right? So I choose 2 numbers from the set, apply or combine them using the operation. If it is that I can always get another number of that same set, then we say the thing is closed. Right? Right. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you have to prove it for me, you know. Ready? This is a yes, but let me prove it. Let little z1 and little z2 be in the set of integers. Oops. That's not that one. Little q1 for quotient and little q2 be an element of rational numbers. Because I want to choose 2 rational numbers, right? Good. Such that little q1 is equal to what makes a rational number a rational number? What's the definition again?
As long as it can be expressed as a
A fraction of 2 integer numbers, no? So I can say A upon B. Can you agree with that? And Q2 equal to C upon D. But I have to clarify that or qualify that by saying where A, B, C, and D are elements of integers. Do you agree with that? Yeah. Because the only way Q1 and Q2 are integers is if A upon B, A and B were integers, and C and D were integers. Yes? Now I want to combine them. Let's observe what Q1 divided by Q2 looks like. Fair enough? Remember, Q1 is a random integer. I mean a random rational, and Q2 is a random rational. So I don't want to hear somebody coming to me and say, why did I not also observe Q2 divided by Q1? Because they are random. Because sometimes Q1 can be Q2 and Q2 can be Q1. So I'm covering all bases here because it's random. Fair enough? All right. No. What that look like? Q1 will be A upon B divided by C upon D. This is what you have to do in the examiner to prove this one, right? What I did again, I said what made a rational number a rational number? It had to be written as a fraction where the numerator and denominator are integers. Then I simply put them together with the division or the multiplication that you're going to prove for homework. That is also closed under ordinary multiplication. You know? So when I put them together with a division, my niece and nephews will say, keep the first fraction as is, change the division sign to multiplication, and reciprocate. Flip the second fraction. Then, numerator times numerator will give me new numerator, AB. And denominator times denominator will give me new denominator. Then it's your job to convince the examiner that this is a valid rational number. For it to be a valid rational number, what is the end game? What makes a rational number again? As a fraction where the numerator must be an integer and the denominator must be an integer. So the question is AD, is this an integer? And is this an integer? And if you can say yes, using some rational, then this would be what would that be? I am going to say to you, trivially, clearly, if we multiply any two integers, we will get an integer. Do you agree? Why? Because remember, just think about what you did with multiplication of numbers, whether with decimal points. You multiply, and then the product, if one of the numbers had one decimal place and the other number had two decimal places, how many decimal places does the product have? You remember? When I multiply 2.1 by 0.005, how many decimal places does that have? This one will have 4 decimal places in total. You always add the amount of decimal places, right? So if I multiply two numbers that had 0 decimal place, because they were integers in the first place, how many decimal places does the product have? 0. So I am comfortable that when I multiply any two integer numbers, I will get an integer. And I'll write that general statement. Therefore, A, D, and BC as two integers, as two numbers are integers. Therefore, AD upon BC is in rational set. Summary. Q1 and Q2 are in rational, implies that Q1 divided by Q2 is also in rational, and that's the proof. Quite easily done. That's all. You buy that proof? Seems logical, eh?
Yeah. It's irrational.
No, you're saying that's a rational number.
Yeah.
Why? Let's go through it again. I said Q1 and Q2 were rational. What made them rational? Because I can write them as A upon B and C upon D, where A, B, C, and D are integers, right? Then I said, all right, let's observe what it would mean to divide them, right? So when I divided them, I got AB divided by CD, and I eventually got AD divided by BC, right? But this is only a rational number. That means Q1 divided by Q2 is a rational number if and only if I can show that AD and BC are integers. So I made a blanket statement. Say, if we multiply any two integers, we will get an integer. Another way of saying that is that integer is closed under ordinary multiplication. Can you see that? That is basically saying I take two integers, when I multiply them, I get an integer. That's what z is closed under multiplication mean, no? So I can write it like this, or I can write it like that. Any which way the examiner will take. That's a good job, right? All right. Homework. Show that Q is closed under ordinary multiplication. That's 1, 2. Show that the set of integers z is not closed under ordinary division. Again, to prove something, I have to use letters, variables to represent my whole thing. I cannot use an example, right, with specific numbers, right? So number 1 is a similar process to this, right? Number 2, though, how do I prove that something is not? All I need to do is provide a counter example, right? Then I'm going to make a very powerful statement of this, right? After you write down the homework. Something that you have to study 50 times, because it's surely coming on the exam, right? You write out the homework, right? Note. To prove that asterisk prove that something is a binary operation, you must prove closure. You know, that's the whole way. If they say to you, show that this is a binary operation, I need to show that under the operation, the set is closed. Why? Because technically, that's what that meant. It means when I take two elements of this set, it produces another element of that same set. It's not the same thing as closure. So it's like me saying the two different things, but the man them keep them separate. Why on earth? I don't know. But to show that something is a binary operation, I show closure. Fair enough? If they ask to define what a binary operation is, this is what I write. S times S. Right? Give you S. Right? If they ask me to write on what it means to be closed, I say A is in S and B is in S implies that A asterisk B is also in S. I'm saying the two different things. I mean the same thing in two different ways, but they are named two different things. Fair enough? So where is my syllabus? Back to the specimen paper, right? Example. Show that X asterisk Y show that asterisk is a binary operation on set on reals such that or where X asterisk Y is equal to X plus Y minus 1. For all X and Y in the set of reals. Here's how this works, right? Show that asterisk is a binary operation. To show that this is a binary operation on R, what do I really need to show? Based on this, I need to show that asterisk, or better, real is closed under the operation asterisk. No? Answer. To show this, I need to prove that real is closed under the operation asterisk. No, they already tell you that X and Y represent arbitrary real numbers. So when I combine them, whatever I get using the rule must give me another real number. Let's explore it. This is not an answer, right? Because a proof can be an example. So this is not an answer. I cannot say let X equal to 2 and Y equal to 7, and I just choose two random numbers. And say X asterisk Y equal to X plus Y minus 1, which means that this is 2 asterisk 7 equal to 2 plus 7 minus 1 equal to 9 minus 1 equal to 8, and that is a real number. Therefore, it's approved, right? I cannot do that, but that would be an example, right? Importantly, again, I need to show you how to read this. This says x asterisk y. Again, I will treat this as the first thing. I will read it as the first thing. I'll read that as the second thing. Yeah? And it's mapping. So when I write 2 asterisk 7, just like when I have x asterisk y, I was supposed to read it as the first thing plus the second thing minus 1 all the time. So if I write down what is 3 asterisk 4, this you must say to me, based on the rule, it must be the first thing plus the second thing minus 1. Yeah? Or you can use substitution and say, let x be equal to 3 and let y be equal to 4, and you just plug it in. But either way, I think this is the easiest way of reading it, first and last, right? No. Since that's not a proof, not a proof. Because I cannot prove with examples, how do I proceed? We're going to use that in it. That's what has to be done next class, because I haven't started something. Right? All right, so let's move on to the next topic. Let's go to try these 2.1 on page 27, and let's see if we can answer those questions. We are looking at our question. This says 27. 21. It said, which of the following are closed? Justify your answers. In other words, give reasons. Whether prove it or provide a counter example, right? Integers for multiplication. I don't like how they phrase it. This is part of the homework, by the way. Are integers closed on the multiplication? That's what they're really asking, right? Think about that. When I multiply 2 integers, I don't get an integer? I do get an integer. That's correct? Justin, you're saying yes or no? I'm not sure. No. You're saying no. When I multiply 2 integers, I do not get an integer.
No, you get an integer.
I do get an integer. Yeah. So the question is integer closed on the multiplication? Yes. Right? Because closure means if I take 2 elements of this integer, or two integers, when I combine them together with multiplication, aka multiply 2 integers, will I get another integer? Yeah. Right? So because of that, I will say it is closed. Right? And then I will write a blanket statement that A and B in integers implies that A multiplied by B is also in integer. That is what is the proof, right? Because I cannot go and assign numbers to these, because in that case it would be considered examples, right? B, so I'll agree with that. Rational numbers for division. Again, they're asking, is the set of rational numbers closed on a division? But we did that in class, and we show that yes, they are closed, right? Or it is closed on the integer, on the division. Irrational numbers for addition.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes,
Too bad. But as an example, I am going to say yes, they are, and the proof I'll send to you. Fair enough? All right. Commutativity. You realize that all, well, we're going to, except for closure, everything else that we did in in reasoning and logic is going to come back. Like, what does it mean to be commutative, associative, distributive? All those are going to come back, right? Okay, guys. Now, what I want to bring to your attention, right? What we did so far, all it takes so long to do it, is really two things we learned so far. So it's easy to go 1 study them 15 times. What does it mean to be a binary operation on a set? S times S gives S. What does it mean to be closed? It means if I take two elements of a particular set, if the set was S, if A and B is in S, that means when I combine A and B together with the whichever operation, it must give me S. Good. Or a set in S, or element in S. The most important one. How do I show that something is a binary operation? I show that it is closed under the operation. Therefore, it's a binary operation on the set. Fair enough? Commutativity. Commutative. We can say the set S is commutative under the operation asterisk, or we can say asterisk is commutative on the set S. So I can say it like this, or I can say it like that. They are all saying the same thing. So, what's the condition for commutativity? When was something commutative in reasoning and logic? What was the law of what was commutative? Give me an example. When you change things around, like P and Q is Q and P. So flip around thing, right? So all we're doing now is to say if and only if A asterisk B is identical to what, or equal to B asterisk A. Of course, where A and B are elements of the set S. Fair enough? Is that easy? I think so. That's why you need to study 15 times, because that's what we're going to need to prove, right? The question is again, is natural numbers commutative under ordinary addition? Yes? No? Think it is? Yes. Because can you say if I add two integer, natural numbers, I will get another natural number? The proof would be, literally, for all A and B in natural numbers, A plus B is equal to B plus A. Why? Because it doesn't matter which one I add first. That's what I'm saying. That makes sense? That's the flip around rule for commutative, right? Question again. Is natural set commutative under ordinary subtraction? No. Right? Because I can produce a counterexample that says let A equal to be a natural number, that's clear, and B equal 5 be a natural number. I can show that 2A plus B is not equal to B plus A. How? By sorry. I can show that where A is 2, this is 2 minus 5 is not equal to 5 minus 2. In one case, it's minus 3, and in the other case, it is positive 3, not equal. Fair enough? And that's the proof. That making sense? This is easy, right? Easier than the first one. Is the natural set closed under ordinary division? Go again?
Close or commutative?
Commutative. Under ordinary division. Is it? Yes, no? Who said no? No. No. Give me an example where it is not. That same example. Because 2 divided by 5 is not same as 5 divided by 2. One is 2.5 and one is 250. So, all right, guys. Remember, you'll be getting some tests tomorrow. That is not for tomorrow. It's really for today, just that I did not print them. And it's 3 tests, and they're due next week Saturday. 3 different people. I could have combined them, but I'd initially, my plan was to give them individually 1 week, 1 week, 1 week, but because you all came so staggered, I couldn't give them, right? Naturally, the following week, I'm going to give you 2 tests from trigonometry, right? So every other week, starting from now, you'll be getting actual exam structured kind of papers. Fair enough? Yeah, it's so weird, eh? But it's like a take-home test. Because I'm not going to allow you to sit down in class, and I'm going to be sitting here bored for 1 whole hour, right? So
test goes, is that how tests are supposed to go?
No, but you're going to time yourself and put start, end, and then you're going to hand them in.